From Outburst from CPAC, what would it take to make you more interested in federal politics? All right, let's go ahead and just see what this is about.
What would it take to make you more interested in federal politics?
I don't know, because I'm heavily involved in federal politics in BC and connect with it in different levels. And I don't know what it's going to take to get people to wake up and be aware that politics is important in their life and it actually affects things they do from day to day. And I've thought of this question for many years. How do you get more people engaged in understanding how politics affects their lives and influences and how much power they have to influence politics?
And that's why this channel has been created. Honestly, I want to get more people involved in federal politics, whether that's from the NDP or the Greens or the Liberals or the Conservatives. I don't really care. I just want to make a community here where we can all talk about any federal issues openly and without bullshit. Because that's the only way we're going to get better. That's the only way that our country is going to improve, and that's the only way that we're going to move forward away from these bullshit systems and these bullshit policy positions that these politicians continually run on over and over and over again. And we see the degradation of our society. We see the degradation of our country over and over and over again because these politicians that are in power right now don't have your best interest in mind, don't have our best interest in mind. They have their best interest and their friends' best interest in mind. We need to change that dichotomy, and we need to do that by being more interested and more involved and more active in these places.
I used to be very involved in federal politics, got a little older, got very disenchanted from the whole thing.
Yep, that's fair.
I find it's devolved into a lot of name calling, and it's hard, I think, for the average person to sit and watch something like Question Period, which I honestly used to do in my early 20s.
So Question Period is fun to watch. I do enjoy watching Question Period sometimes. Disenchantment, disenfranchisement, disempowerment is the purpose of a bourgeois liberal democracy. The less people who vote, the less people that have an effect on policy. The less people are involved, and the more that they are turned away by these name callings and these different things, the more people just don't care, and the more that they're able to get away with. The more that the politicians in power, whether that's liberal or conservative, or NDP in this case, are able to get away with because, well, they have no accountability to the people because the people don't care. We need to care more because then we can actually make changes, because then the politicians have to react to us rather than the other way around. Right now, politicians in Canada only have to react to what we're saying to them, not the other way around. Or we only react to what they're saying, not the other way around. They don't react to what we say. Almost never.
And you barely even get information anymore, I think.
That's also true. There's not very many good information sources. You've got CBC, Global, CTV, and the Globe and Mail. And after that, it drops off significantly in, like, notoriety. I guess you have the Toronto Star, too. But after that, it kind of drops off significantly on publicity and notoriety of organizations that are trying to produce more news. We need more. We don't have enough right now. This is another reason why I'm doing this channel. We need more people talking about these issues. We need more people talking about different things that are going on in Canada. And the only way to actually change things for the better is to be involved. So let's be involved. Let's actually make a difference.
By listening to it. So I don't know what it would take, but certainly a shift in the way things are currently done and a lot more civility in the House of Commons as a starter.
So yeah,
Okay, civility is a bullshit line. Civility is not important in the least bit in how politics are done. If you're worried about being civil, be a liberal, I guess. I don't know.
really interested in federal politics, and I'm interested in getting Leslyn Lewis elected as the next Conservative Party leader and maybe our next Prime Minister, God willing.
Well, for me, probably a party that will actually stand up and be something other than what all the other parties are. Especially there are more traditional points of view that aren't really represented. even among the more conservative parties.
Probably hear more of the
Tell me you're a fascist without saying you're a fascist.
Prime Minister, God willing.
Well, for me, probably a party that will actually stand up and be something other than what all the other parties are, especially.
The Conservative Party of Canada is a far-right party. The Liberal Party of Canada is a center-right party, and the NDP is a social democracy, slightly center liberal-ish party right now. They're not socialist. They're not even close. They're a social democratic party.
Especially there are.
The Greens are the only ones that sometimes flip into that socialist category. And that didn't turn out very well because that guy, Dimitri Lascaris, who was the eco-socialist, who was running in that position for the leadership, lost to Annamie Paul, who then was a failure and complete embarrassment to the party. And now that party's going to shit. Who knows if that's going to come back? They got Mike Morrison, but he's more of a he's closer to the center. And Elizabeth May is also closer to the center. So both of the Green MPs that are currently in Parliament right now are both, I would still call both of them right wing. They're both right wing. They're not conservative, but they're both right wing. Mike is probably Matthew Green is probably the furthest left MP that I've seen. And he is probably still on the right side of economics. He's still, I think, probably capitalist.
More traditional points of view that aren't really
traditional points of view, as in I need to be able to beat my wife.
probably hear more of the good about it. I don't watch the news and all I hear is bad things consistently and what they said they were going to do and then what they didn't do. So I know I think there's an election coming up, but I don't even know either side. So I think for me to be more interested in it would be just to hear more of the positive of what they've done instead of all the negative.
Some honesty among the.
I mean, there is basically no positives right now, so I feel for that guy. But yeah, there really aren't that many positives right now.
Politicians would help a lot, and some honesty among the media would help a lot. You know, you just don't know who to believe and what to believe anymore, and where to source out the truth, and yeah.
Those echo my sentiments.
It just turns people off, I think. And I think there's so much apathy among the young people. I mean, we're still connected, we still listen to what's happening, but we see a lot of apathy in younger people.
Young people, if this is true, comment on this video. Tell us why you're apathetic to the politics. I have my own reasons, but I'm trying to make a difference. I don't know if it's going to, but I'm hopeful. Let's see if we can work together and see if we can actually make some differences in this country.
I think everybody needs to be engaged in different ways in terms of communications. So you need your information offered how you want it. So sometimes I think CPAC is a perfect example of a great way of getting information about federal politics to the general populace. But everybody needs their information in different ways. So television, radio, preferably moving away from printed media, but there are some great internet-based options now. So
because I live in a democracy and because I'm so grateful, I don't live in countries that are not democracies, such as Russia and such as China.
And the United States.
Democracies, if people don't take an interest in doing civic actions, which they should do, such as voting.
Just knowing that my voice can be heard and there would be outcome of it. So what I'm saying is that if there was better communication between people and government.
I think we are quite.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really. So when I was living in Steinbeck, our MP didn't even have an email address. You couldn't email our MP. And sorry. Let me take that back. There was an official .gc email, but it was never read, and you never got a response. And how many people are emailing Ted Falk? Not too many.
Engaged anyway. I really don't know what else I could do, but I think there are some issues that near dear to us is, of course, environment and inflation. These are two, I think, more issues that that we think are pressing issues at this point.
I don't even follow politics, really, because it's just all
The lesser evil.
Yeah, you know, they say one thing, do another, promise this, do... I don't know.
I understand. I think that there are... It's very difficult to get involved in Canadian politics. Very difficult. I'm doing this because I think that it is something that I can lend my voice to and give other people a chance to get different perspectives. Whether you agree with me or not, that's totally fine. I don't care. I just think that having more voices out there talking about issues that are actually going on is important, because we don't have that in Canada that often. Most of the production that we see comes directly from the CBC, and I do generally enjoy the CBC. I think that they, especially the radio, I like listening to CBC radio when I'm driving longer distances. But you know, there's not that many options, and I don't imagine most people my age are listening to the CBC. And I don't have cable. Like, why would I have cable? There's no point to have cable, other than to watch sports. But the internet exists, so like, I think that it's very difficult to get Canadians that are not interested at all in politics to be interested in politics, and that's what I want to do. I want to be able to bring more people into the fold. I want to give people voices that are able to talk and speak about different issues. I want to have people on to talk about things that they care about, and so that we can have a conversation. So if you're interested in having a conversation with me about any of these things, just send me an email, truenorthminute@gmail.com. You can jump in there and we can have a conversation. And I just really want to see where we can take this in the future. And I want to have good conversations. I want to be pushed back against. I want to have people that I agree with on. We can talk about things that we really should be pushing forward together. I think all of these things are important, and I think that we need to take a more holistic approach on politics right now, because we're heading into a very difficult time in our country. And I don't know if most people are ready for that. I know most people aren't ready for that because they don't pay attention enough. So what I want to end this video and this stream with is reach out. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk. You can be from anywhere in Canada. We'll just have a conversation. Not a debate. We're not debating. I'm not doing that. But let's have a conversation about different topics. Let's talk about it. Let's speak on, you know, housing. Let's speak on inflation. Let's speak on homelessness. Let's speak on the environment. Let's speak on policy positions like free market versus market controlled. Like, let's just talk about some of these different things that we can actually speak about right now and get our voices heard. And then let's reach out to different politicians in different places and see if we can make actual change happen. Hey, thank you for making it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell if you want to catch my next live stream that this video came from. Until tomorrow, everybody, have a fantastic day, y'all. Peace.